The blathering, that's not me, that is me. Hey, there I am. Hey, everybody, how are you? Welcome to a new edition of The Blathering. Appreciate you all hanging out with me here. Appreciate you all having some patience for me because last week I decided, you know what, we're not going to do an episode. We're going to skip that one because that was, fortunately, a tragic week. Look, there's a lot of tragedies in the world, things we all have to deal with and bear. I get that, but mine last week was the very sudden passing of our dog, Baxter. I think I can talk about it now without crying. And what a way to begin the 94th episode of this show. What a way to be like, hi, everybody, I'm back. But yeah, Baxter passed 17 years young, but he was in great health. He was moving along. He'd been blind for a couple of years, but that didn't stop him. His blood work was great, health. He had a little gimp in a leg, but he didn't. He was chasing things in the backyard. He was a good dog, a loving dog, the king of Burbank, and up until his final moments, he lived a full life. His passing was sudden, traumatic, and tragic. So it was tough and shocking and stunning. And all my years of public safety experience, all my years of standing in front of people with heart attacks, holding hands of people while they had seizures and strokes or stab wounds and all that kind of stuff that I've dealt with in my other line of work. I didn't know what to do, and we were only able to rush him to a pet ER to eventually say goodbye. So I'm processing it. Grace is processing it. A lot of your words that were sent to us on social media meant a lot. We really, really needed it. But I no content, no C word last week from myself. Some Force Center stuff was out there. I just didn't want to sit down. I just didn't feel it was the right thing to do. But I'm back here, and we got I don't even know what kind of show we have. I'll be honest with you. I've been busy. Today was one of those days. We all have them. You wake up, you're like, what do I got to do today? Everything. And that has been pretty much my day, to where I sat down to kind of be getting the show prep, but for 5 minutes ago. I sat down 15 minutes ago, and about 5 minutes ago I came back in. So here we are. But we got people coming in. Oh, look at this comment. Wow, look at this. Michael McCarcel. We call him Detective McCarcel around this joint. Says, everyone have fun. Tonight is my partner and I. Last regular date night before I propose. She really doesn't know that, but still. Well, that's risky saying it right here on the show. She could be watching. Laser Bolt is here. Rich T is here and says aloha. Got our buddy King Sport Cow. Brett Amar is here. We got a call lined up with Brennan here. Lauren Romo, a.k.a. The Killer. I know. I you know what? I'm gonna just say this right here, right now. The new mode in Fortnite. They did a season 5, chapter 3 map last week, and it's a high octane map. They're doing some changes to nerf it, but it's basically fast cars, guns, and destruction. And Lauren Romo has turned into an outright killer. An outright killer. The bloodlust in Lauren Romo on Fortnite now is insane. I hear tell that it's crazy. King Sportcast is not filming the new season of Fortnite. Yeah, it's going through some changes. It's been it turned this into a Fortnite channel, but it's been kind of a crazy season. Trey T is there. Mad Max says Chris Kiefer. Chris, maybe I'm gonna bring him. I gotta ask him when he's gonna call in. We're gonna get to this. Also, the big news of the day here. I should have just absolutely prepped my show. That's what I should have done. But we're gonna do this. We're gonna figure this out on the fly because we're live. This is live. This is an AM radio talk show. There it is. There we go. That's the one I wanted. Look at that. Look at that. Trump guilty on 34 felony charges. Now, what happens from here, I don't know. I just never thought we'd get to this point. I never thought we'd see those words on a screen. Trump guilty on all 34 felony charges. This is a guy that gets off scot-free in a lot of ways. His entire career has been a charade. It's been a lie. Articles coming out today about how much of a lie. We knew The Apprentice was a lie, but how much of a real front it was. We've known this for a long while. Read Jeff Pearlman's book, Football for a Dollar, the story of the USFL. Everything that happened in Trump's presidency basically happened during his tenure in the USFL. And so Adam Knight, checking in from Canada, says, butter emails. She was right. She was right about so many things. And I know some people didn't want to vote for her. That's fine. That's fair. I'm talking about people on the left that didn't want to vote for her. What are you going to do now? But anyways, what happens from here, I don't know, because I'm not a political or legal expert. I spent a lot of time watching politics, spent a lot of time reading the news. I wish I had a newspaper. Maybe tomorrow I'll get a newspaper. And nothing. I'm not expecting jail time. I don't know. I also have not had time to read tonight what is next and what goes on from this point. I don't know. I don't know. Rich T says, hey, I don't know if you know Brian Tyler Cohen. I do know the channel. He has a YouTube channel and covers all this political stuff really well. He talks to Laura daily, asking questions. Yeah, I do. Brian Taylor Cohen. I watch David Pakman sometimes. I watch Majority Report with Sam Sater and Emma Vigeland. Watch Beau of the Fifth Column is a great one as well. Love Beau of the Fifth Column. So, yeah, I'll be plugged in. But, man, today's just one of those days where I got text the update. I got someone who was like, hey, it's happening. It's happening. And I was like, oh, no. So I got a text coming in now about it. Someone's like, can I call in an update? No, not. I'm doing a show live. Anyways, enough of that. We'll have time to analyze that. I just want to hang out. I just want to enjoy all of your company, and I'm going to bring a call in here. Got to make sure I'm on the right setup here. I couldn't get him on the last couple of weeks, but he is here in chat, waiting for a call. If you're calling in, have your question ready. Let's chat, let's talk, and then let's get someone in else after. And we've got joining us here on the show tonight, Brennan Marr. Brennan, can you hear me loud and clear? I think I got the call set up.
How do I sound?
You sound good? Wonderful. How do I sound, Brennan? Do I sound out of breath and great. Panicked?
No, you sound great. I was sorry to hear about Dexter.
I appreciate it. No, and you were very nice about it.
I heard you talk about him for many years, and it's sad to say goodbye, but
it's
whether you believe in heaven or not, I think he's doing okay. I think he's
no, I'm an afterlifer. I don't know exactly what that could be. I know what I want it to be, and
he's probably chasing cats around in the afterlife.
Right? Yeah. Well, yeah. He and Rats here reunited. Yeah. We'll see when we get there. But I know I'm with you. I take the kind of well wishes. But there you go, Brennan. What's on your mind? What's your question tonight?
Well, today I was rewatching E.T. for my podcast tomorrow night.
Lovely. That stands for extraterrestrial.
Yeah, I'd heard that somewhere. I don't know who said that. But it was funny that I first saw it when I was like 8, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the right age where it had an effect on me.
The Amblin connection. Yeah, absolutely.
I was thinking yesterday of a lot of the movies that I saw when I was really young that had affected. I think it turned me into a movie lover.
E.T., you're saying? Okay.
Well, E.T., Land Before Time, Aladdin, movies like that. Kind of.
Gotcha.
A movie guy. So I'm wondering, what movie besides the Star Wars movie did you see as a kid that really you think hit you at just the right age to affect your love of movies?
Yeah, E.T. is on that list. I saw it in theaters, and I'm a lifelong Reese's Pieces fan, so maybe that had something to do too. E.T.'s part of that. Indiana Jones might be, well, though Temple of Doom frightened me, but Return of the Jedi really starts it for me without a doubt, and E.T. I know was a year prior. But
Okay.
I want to say, you know what the thing, this is going to sound weird. It was a few years later because I'm seeing ET. I'm like 6 or 7. I'm like 7,
Mhm.
8 for Return of the Jedi. Enough to definitely know what it's film. Annie, It's a Hard Knock Life. One of the first films I saw in
That's a good
theater.
one.
Yeah, but you know what it really was? A few years later, it was. This is a weird answer, maybe. It was Pee Wee's Big Adventure. Here's why.
Tell
It
them
was
Large Lord sent you.
Large March, which did scare me, Brendan. You know me, Brendan. That scared
Mhm.
me. I'll
Mhm.
tell you what, and this is a great question. If anyone else calling in tonight, have this answer. I might throw it at you. What was a movie that kind of inspired your early love of film or movies? And for me, it was a character. It was becoming obsessed with the idea that this wasn't a real person. There was someone named Paul Rubens who put this on, created it at the Groundlings, which later on I'd go to the Groundlings. But it was this fantastical, magical world, and it was. I knew it was a film. I'm old enough now. By this point, I'm like 10 or 11 when I'm watching Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and I just was so entertained by it. And I knew I kind of wanted to do that. Whatever that was still to be determined. So I really credit Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Really do.
Mhm. You know, it's amazing. I was thinking about E.T. in particular and Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
It's the movies of the 80s were scary. I mean, the movies they made for kids were scary, and I don't
Yeah.
think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
I think it was Jim Henson who said that
Well,
kids need to be scared at some point in their
did he
life.
say that? Well, you know what? To the late great
Dark
Jim
Crystal.
Henson.
He said that about Dark Crystal.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Dark Crystal. I'm glad you mentioned Dark Crystal.
Another
That
movie that affected me.
that movie terrified me, Brennan. I have not watched it since. Saw it not on the theaters. We rented it on a VHS. VHS, everybody. You might remember that tech. We talked about Beta Max recently here. I watched Dark Crystal at home. Terrified. Never wanted to see the movie again.
I must
Never.
be without a soul because it never scared me.
Mm,
In fact,
no.
I saw it and went, "This is freaky, but I like it,"
There you
and that might
go.
explain a
There you
lot
go.
about me. Mhm.
It's a wonderful imagined world. I mean, there's parts of Labyrinth that probably scared me. The fire
Yeah.
scared me a little bit when I was a kid. Temple of Doom
Well,
never
David
frightened me,
Bowie.
says Laser Bolt, but the opening of ET scared the hell out of me.
Yeah,
I-
it is pretty freaky. Yeah, I agree. Um,
uh, you're not alone there, Laser Bolt.
but I think that there's a certain thing about going so dark to turn around and then go so light.
Yeah,
That really gives it a power to it, I think.
it could be a Kings. Well, look at this. Kingsport Cal agrees with us. Dark Crystal frightening. Rich T has a follow up question for me. Did you get the VHS from Blockbuster or a local video rental store? Local. It is called. I definitely don't think it's there anymore. It was called Movies to Go. What a name! It was on Grand Avenue in Arroyo Grande, California, on the cusp, the border of Grover Beach, California. So there's right there, Grand Avenue. I forget that street that comes down. There's a Burger King, and then there's another restaurant, and then there was Movies to Go in this little shopping center. That was a Friday night. Get some Burger King and a VHS. What's that,
I was
Brandon?
one of those Blockbuster kids. That's what I was.
See, Blockbuster, yeah, I didn't come for a few years. I don't know when Blockbuster started as a national chain. I forget that information, but Blockbuster came later. So I actually didn't rent a lot from Blockbuster. I didn't have a Blockbuster card. It was Movies to Go for me as a kid.
I am. So, yeah, I was just thinking about sort of the movies that made me who I am.
Yeah, the
Maybe about
movies.
movies, and the 80s had some interesting stuff.
It did, and I like that they did trust their audience to be a little scared. One man Congo watching on Twitch says, "Last Crusade, Act 1. What did the
Yeah.
surgeon? If so many snakes, a
Good
whole
question.
yeah."
Good question.
I love that there. Brendan, thank you for calling in and this wonderful
Thank you,
thought starter.
Ken.
It might come back up throughout the show tonight. I'm good to hear from you too. I know we couldn't get you on last couple of weeks, and I've not been doing pop rock and radio, so I feel good
Well,
to
I've
that we
got
get
some
to catch
interesting
up.
requests there.
Well,
I've
it'll
got
be a
some
couple
interesting
weeks.
requests. Yeah.
Love it. Work it up. It'll be a couple weeks. Brendan
All
Maher,
right.
everybody.
Thank you, Ken.
Check them out. We got another call coming in here. If you want to call into the show, I think you know what to do by now. But if you're new, you're hanging out. Hey, everybody, it's me, Ken Knapsack. You can support the show in a lot of different ways, but YouTube channel members, become a member right here or become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/Ken Knapsack. And you get to call in live, get a question, hang out with me. I had some wonderful topics and questions sent to me by our friend Johnny M. And because I didn't prep the show tonight, I was getting back in the groove. I forgot to pull them up tonight. Anyways, I got a special announcement. Then we're going to take a call from a brand new Fortnite player. And I got some questions for him. But, hey, I got a fun special announcement. It is for those who are local. So if you're listening in the greater Los Angeles area, I want you to put this down in your calendar. It is Sunday night, June 30th, 7 p.m. June 30th, 7 p.m. at Flappers Comedy Club in Burbank. It is my first headlining night there. It's Ken Napzok's Hot Burbank Nights. And as you can see on the show with me is Mark Ellis, Jen Sturger looking like she's going to be able to make it, and Joe Starr. If you're a Screen Junkies fan, you know Joe Starr. He's going to be there, and they're all going to be hanging out with me on this fun show. I'm going to be doing a headlining 40 minutes. I've got some fun things planned, a different kind of set of comedy for me and maybe even the audience. It's going to be great. So if you're local, I would love to sell this bleep out. Sell this bleep out is the goal here. And we're going to have a packed house here in the Yoo-Hoo room. So there you go. JMB says, I wish I were in the same hemisphere. Douglas says so as well. So, yeah, I know a lot of you are listening from other spots, but I'm just announcing it here. I will put it on social probably tomorrow. Tonight might not be the best time to put it on social. There's a lot of things going on that might have people's attention. Very excited to have, of course, Mr. Mark Ellis. We're also on the road soon in Seattle. We're on the road in Little Rock, Arkansas, later in the year in New Orleans. And more dates, you can go to Mark Ellis's website to find that out. Jen Sturger, just one of my favorite people. She has just been killing it lately with comedy, and she's going to be working up some wonderful things for this too as well. And I'm happy to have Mark and Jen on a show with me because they've been so kind to me in my stand-up career. And then Joe Starr, one of my best friends, one of the sweetest souls out there, and I don't think people realize, one of the funniest MFers out there and a great stand-up comic, and he's kind of getting back in the game, and it's going to be good. So there we go. Rich T says, will they record it? They record it. I don't know if I can necessarily air it. There might be a recording of it. Just won't be like the best quality. It'll be a house recording. But if I can get it out, I absolutely will find a way to get it out. There you go. Brian Tiller says, done. The link is on my website. You can go to Flappers and get the tickets. I need to really kind of sell it out within 2 to 3 weeks from this announcement. So that's what we're going to be doing. Andrew Cook says, hey, congrats. Another piece of good news. Yeah, it's good. Jake says, Flappers, been there, done that. So he's not coming to the show tonight. All right, that's fair. There we go. All right, I'm going to add another call to the show. That's what we do here. This is the Blathering with me, Ken Napzok, and he's someone who's not only seen me do stand-up comedy, he's someone who has done stand-up comedy with me, though it's been a few years, and I'm trying to get him back into it. It's my friend Chris. Chris, you're on the show tonight, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
I'm doing as good as good can be. So,
Good.
Busy day, but I'll take a felony conviction and a headlining comedy show.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, great to hear from you. So just to clear the air, I am on a city-sanctioned unpaid meal break at the moment. I do have a hard out at 5:30 because I got to get on the desk.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Let me get. I have a question for you. A question for you, Chris.
All right.
You've taken the deep dive back into Fortnite. And last night, I saw your name on the screen. I invited you to a party, and you didn't take my invitation. What happened?
I think it was late. Well, number one, I'm still getting used to it. So I only have one other friend on there. So I'm not really sure of the notification process. But I think I saw you pop on, and the button was on the PS5 to power down. And then it was just like, wait, was that kid just on there? Like I was just tired, and I was like, I don't think I want to jump back on there. It was embarrassing enough. So I apologize.
Look, you're a responsible human being. I was going to give you a private training session. I was gonna team up with you. I know you're getting back into the Fortnite. I wasn't going to jump you into a squad with Brian Tiller, Ken Plume yet, or Lauren Romo, a.k.a. The Killer, Lauren Romo. But I was going to get in a car with you and drive around and eliminate some people. So, but
that would have been delightful. But I will keep an eye out for the notifications next time.
Okay, but all right,
Yeah.
that was my question for you. But what is your question for me?
I love talking music with you. So I am curious if you have any favorite songs that feature a male and female duet. And I have a couple of mine lined up if you need a minute to think about it.
I'll start. Okay. Haunted by Shea McGowan, and there's the Pogues version that I believe is also in the Sid and Nancy film. But I love the 1995 version with Sinead O'Connor. I play it so much on pop rock and radio that maybe people are sick of it. It's just one of my favorite tunes. And there's a lot of things from the Echo Friendly that I just absolutely love, and it is duo. I think they're even a couple, but they do. So Same Mistakes is a great tune. It was featured in Girls, that TV HBO show years ago, and I absolutely love that. So that's one. I could easily throw in a lot of Fleetwood Mac when they get going, but that's where I'll start. But I want to hear what you got.
Okay, well, it's cheesy as it may be. I do love the Dirty Dancing. I've had the time of my life. It's a great song. And actually, what inspired me to ask you about it was because I recently came across the Dan Wilson and Bic Runga duet of "Good Morning Baby," which is a great song. I'm sure you're familiar with that.
No, I'm not familiar with that. I love Bic Runga. I saw her live down at Largo. Love Dan Wilson, of course, the Semisonic. I'm going to look that up later. I might text you after the show for a link to that.
I think it was on an American Pie soundtrack, so it kind of got lost in the shuffle of it. It's not a Bic Runga song. It's not a Semisonic song, but it's really good.
That would make some sense because she was she had a couple songs on the American Pie soundtrack universe.
Sway, yeah.
Sway, yes, which was her big hit. Look at Kiefer. Look at Chris Kiefer coming in here hot with the big Runga knowledge. All right.
New Zealand's finest, yes.
New Zealand, exactly. New Zealand's finest indeed. Thank you for the super chat, JMB. I will come to that one here in a second. All right, so that was one answer. Well, two. And I was going to bring up, I had the time of my life, Bill Medley and Jennifer Warnes.
Yes.
I absolutely love that song. I don't sing well, but every once in a while, I'll just be driving in a car or I'll be in the kitchen by myself and I'll be like, I had the time of my life.
Love it.
So it's a great song.
Yes. The other one I will shout out and mention is a song called Two Way. It's by KT Tunstall with James Bay is his name. It was I think it was released as a single, but her singles don't get a ton of play, but that's good.
What else did James Bay do?
I don't know. That's the only thing I know him from. I'm deep into the Tunstall discography, and I was like, "This is an amazing song."
Okay.
I don't know much. I haven't gone off to the tangent.
I am familiar. You know what? Sorry, I cut you off there a second. There is some work of James Bay that I'm definitely familiar with, and I got to figure out. I'm looking it up online here right now. British singer-songwriter, so there's a chance I've already heard his music. Yeah, there's something about that. I have to look that up. I know a James Bay song, and then KT Tunstall is. I know you're a big fan of KT Tunstall.
Yes,
so
indeed.
Good stuff.
Yeah, check it out after the show. Good morning, baby, Dan Wilson.
Good morning, baby, Dan Wilson. I'll let you go in a second, but Trey T says islands in the mother loving stream. I don't disagree with that at all.
There you go.
I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah, fantastic.
Islands in the stream. That is what we are. All right. I don't want to get digged. Chris, thank you for calling in. I don't want you to get in trouble with the city of Los Angeles.
Yes.
I appreciate you on your, sanctioned, unpaid lunch break.
Correct.
Your meal break, your 30-minute uninterrupted meal break. Calling in.
I will get back out there, and I'll see you at Flappers at the very latest, or on Fortnite if I get back on there soon enough.
Yeah. Okay. You accept my damn invite. All right. I'll see you soon.
Will do.
Chris Kiefer there. Love that. Let me catch up with some of the comments. If you got a comment, please ask away. If you got a question, I should say, ask away. I'll favorite them and get back to them. We're talking about movies earlier. Brennan Marr had a great call about movies that help shape you. Corey says, I'd love to submit my a Star Wars night at a baseball game experience, watching Caddy Mundy clapping along to take me out of the ball game. Yeah, that will make you love a lot of things there. Going back to my love of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Eddie Haskell says, was a massive Twisted Sister fan. When they showed him that movie, I marked the F out. I did not know them yet, but that movie introduced me to them, and I became a fan of Twisted Sister, despite my mother and father kind of being like, I don't know. I don't know if the song "Burn in Hell" is what we want little Kenny singing, but I did. Loved it. Mark the Animal Mendoza, D. Snyder, come on. Good stuff there. Also, We have got Flick and Reel says Phantom Menace is pretty big. Talk about movies that formed you as an early movie fan. I was 6, made a dual lightsaber out of PVC pipe, and got a mall makeup at a local fair. I mean, Flick and Reel, we got to say something here right now. You're cool. That's awesome. I love that at 6 you were like, I need that. But maybe the toy isn't coming to you right away. Maybe you can't afford it. And so what do? You go ahead and make your own. I love this. Flick and Reel, that's the way you do it. Super chat coming in here, a couple of them. JMB, sending me some yen. I love that. It comes to me as American dollars, but I love that it shows up as yen here. Sorry to hear about your loss, and maybe this is too soon, but I have you looked up at doggy insurance. It's heartbreaking to see a family member suffering. I don't know which ones are reputable, but yeah. Oh, yeah. We have, we appreciate the super chat and the sentiment and the suggestion, JMB. We have pet insurance. Can't live without pet insurance in this GD town. I'll tell you that much there. Super chat coming in from Jared. Jared says, Ken and Ken DS9. He's still rooting for the Ken and Ken Plume and Knapsack DS9 deep dive that will probably never come. Jared also says, though, just had surgery this morning, so this helped me relax. Well, I'll stop screaming. If I'm screaming too much, I don't want to upset your relaxation. Jeff May is here. Try to get Jeff on here in a second, too. Says Robocop is everything when I was a kid, and as every year passes, it gets even better. I gotta hear more tales on that. Scott, I appreciate this. Scott Mills says, sorry, kid, got the T-Wolves game about to start. I respect that. I respect you saying, look, I'd love to support. I'll watch later. I'll give you a like. I'll make sure I'm subscribed. I'll come back later and just watch this on repeat with the sound down to keep your runtime, your timed watch stats up. But right now, basketball's on. I respect that. Jamie follows up, says, glad to hear that. Yeah, those pet costs can stack up, and it would kill me to know what I could help. That I could help, but I don't have the money to help my pooch. Yeah, look, it's the reality is pet care, medical care here in the States, and look around the world. I know it's no medical issue is easy to deal with. But yeah, it's the reality. You go to a pet ER, your pet is dying. Your pet is in a traumatic state. You don't know what's going to happen. They grab them and they go to take care of them and they start administering things, but they're like, also, cool, we need $2,000 now or we don't continue. And, you find ways to make it work. But we're not alone in that. I've had many friends in that situation who've put some calls out. I've answered the call too. I remember one friend of mine, they had their cat was run over by a car and they were trying to save it. And I said, Nate, give me the location, give me the address. I'm there. I have an open credit card and we're going to use it. And sadly, that was not needed. And so it's a reality. Pet insurance is a fortunate necessity in these times there. But you do anything, man. You do anything. I if I didn't have the money right there and I couldn't raise funds, I couldn't call Jeff May up at 2 a.m. and say, hey, I need some, and he didn't answer, I'd go rob a bank. I'd go knock over a Garda truck. We'd do anything for our pets. So there you go. All right, Jared says, did you see the Orange Loser guilty in all? Did we see? You didn't see the start of the show where we absolutely celebrated this news that is shocking and surprising, and I don't know where we go from here. I was going to Ventress checking in on Twitch said something earlier. Where was that? That was earlier. I should have favorited that. I didn't. Ventress said, what happens now is you breathe a sigh of relief for tonight and then get ready for the next round. And ain't that the truth there? So yeah, that's where we're at tonight. And I'm just kind of, there's a lot of, with any kind of loss, it's difficult. Nothing is easier. This isn't any easier than the loss of our beloved Ratsy a few years ago. This one hit a lot differently. This one hit me in a way I didn't expect, because despite his age, I think he had a number of years left. And, but there's no guarantee with that. So it's been tough. There you go. One Man Conga posts something good. Trump can now not vote because he's a felon. That's fascinating. And he still might win. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't know. All right. We got a call coming in right here, right now. I'm gonna tell him straight up. I want a question, and then he gets on down the road. And he's been having some technical problems. So Kingsport Cal, we're bringing him into the show. You got to win my trust again here, Cal. What's going on with your technology? What's going on?
Oh no, is it working?
It's working, kind of. You
Is it
sound
working?
like you're a robot. I can hear you. I hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I've been, but it's
Cal,
breaking up. I can hear you,
Okay.
but it's breaking
Okay,
up. If I can help on your end.
Tell you what, Cal, what's your question? Take the answer off air, and then when your internet's fixed, you call back tonight. We can do this? Cal died. Ventress says, I think he can vote. He lives in Florida. That defers to the state of conviction. And in New York, you can vote if you're a felon, but not incarcerated, believe it or not. Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. All right. Cal, going to have him try to call back. And now we got on the line, Jeff May checking in here, calling from Jeff's bleepy phone. Jeffrey, how are you? How are you doing?
Ken, you know what? I'm doing pretty good. I got my knapsack moment in earlier this week, which feels
That's
nice.
Right. Saw you Monday, right? Monday.
We had a nice little mini Memorial Day with 25% of the rest of your comedy show.
That's right.
We so I got that in, and then today, what a relief to have a thing that probably isn't going to mean that much actually in the end happen.
I know what you mean. Talking about this found guilty thing. Yeah, there's appeals and this and that, and I think it's not that I've just lost faith in the system. I've just lost faith in the world. But I gotta hope.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, and I think the Onion says it best. We're like, how's old Donnie going to get out of this one? And then he immediately does. He just keeps. Yeah. This man, this is an unstoppable monster. But hey, politics chat, everybody loves that. Ken,
I do too. I do. But what do you got?
I adore you. Well, I mean, we were talking movies, which you like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like movies. Okay.
As the grandchild of a bootlegger from the my grandmother was a premium cable bootlegger.
Yeah.
And she loved violent movies. That was her favorite thing. No sex, but violence was just like her absolute. That was her shit.
Drew the line at open mouth kissing. Got it.
No. But she showed me Gremlins way too early because she's like, get it? It's funny. And I'm like, no, I'm 6. This is not funny to me.
Not funny. It's scary. You've ruined Christmas.
RoboCop. I saw RoboCop as a kid, and I was like, this is unbelievable. This is the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen in my life. And it's one of those things where, when they say, oh, if you love something as a kid, I loved He-Man as a kid. Don't watch that again. A lot of the stuff that you enjoy as a kid, you enjoyed it because you're a child and you're being advertised to. RoboCop was the first one of those movies where I saw it as a child and I was like, hey, this is pretty friggin' special. And then as I age, I'm like, oh, this is actually more special than I thought it was, actually.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, and I'll tell you why. Because that guy dying because he's covered in toxic sludge and gets hit by the car just frightened me to the end of days. Still, so I haven't revisited the movie a lot. It probably frightened me because, again, I was a scaredy cat of a kid. But it's got deep meanings. It's got themes. It's got things at play.
Ken, I've got great news for you. Back when I used to be a teacher, I taught a pop culture course. We did a unit on RoboCop. Ooh, it was high school kids. So this was a summer course, an enrichment course. Okay. It was called History Through Pop Culture, and it was essentially like how to make kids be entertained intellectually instead of just blindly saying like, hey, there's an explosion in this Transformers movie.
Right.
So we did yeah, we did this big deep down dive into RoboCop and like how it's the American Christ parable via, you know, Reagan's America, and which is like fascinating when you rewatch it and you see like the amount of Christian imagery that is thrown in there is just fascinating.
Really?
Oh yeah, man, the dude walks on water at the end, for God's sake.
See, yeah, this is fast. Look, I just revisited Ghostbusters in a movie I was not familiar with as a kid. And I revisited it for a fandom project. And I've been telling everyone that is a libertarian's fantasy about gentrification and getting rid of undesirables in a Reagan era New York. And it's Dan Aykroyd's small government wet dream. And I think people have not been believing me.
I think, well, here's the thing about entertainment. And this is not like, we choose how we want to be entertained, right? Like we choose how deeply we want to consider our entertainment. And I think that is sometimes to our detriment. I think, and that's to both directions. Like sometimes I want to watch something really stupid.
Right.
And just shut my brain off. And then sometimes I want to search for bigger meaning. And so like, you see that a lot. And yeah, like you're not wrong about Ghostbusters having that like government regulation, but that's just everything in America in the 80s. Like,
right.
Like everyone was high on Reagan because we were dumb and selfish.
Yep. Regulations are bad and unions are bad. And
But like, as you learn things and you learn more about how like the peacekeeping robot of Ed 209 was literally modeled after a Huey attack helicopter that has no peacekeeping concept to it whatsoever. Or when you look at, you know, Lewis and they sort of desexualized her by giving her the haircut in order to like confirm that this is not the romantic partner, but she's actually the Mary character who literally watches him die in a crucifixion pose while she cannot help. Like it's all so very clear once you start dissecting it. And it's just like Verhoeven. It's also like Starship Troopers. Like, did you see Starship Troopers?
Oh, yes, in passing, meaning it was probably on in the background at film school. I did not. I've had dinner with Casper Van Dien. That's as close as I've gotten to the film.
Yeah, I mean, it's what's really fascinating about that, because I always understood it as being like a parody of propaganda and everything.
Sure.
What I didn't realize until like maybe 2 months ago, I was watching something, is that Verhoeven was literally recreating the Nazi propaganda videos to the point of like, that's what the movie is. It's not about those. It is literally one of those, which is why the acting is purposefully chosen to be beautiful people that are like average to above average actors, as opposed to like great actors that are part of that, which I thought was really fascinating.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check it out there. I love this, and I would have, if you were still teaching that course today, would you let me come do a guest lecture?
Dude, it was so fun because there was no like academic testing or anything like that. We would do contests. I had a friend that worked for the local Worcester radio station that he worked for the promotion, so he would donate like movie tickets. Wow. So I'd have kids like we'd be learning about comics, and then I'd give them like a little like sort of trivia quiz, and like the winners won movie tickets. And
were you the kind of teacher that was very popular, but maybe pushed the boundaries of like how to teach? Like you're like, today we're gonna go to the bowling alley to learn math, and you got in trouble by the administration?
I did get into trouble. So there's a mix of things. My ego is not such that I think I was a perfect teacher. I was popular, yes. I was a young man in his 20s who was a athletic, relatively decent looking small town man. And so like every time the local paper wanted to do something, they would send him into my classroom, which got old. I was like very firm and strict, but also like very fun in the class. I'm exactly what you can. I know your listeners might not know me as well, but like, you know, like we can be friendly, but we're not friends. And I made sure to keep that, especially being a young man at that age, teaching 8th grade. Yeah, but I did definitely, I let the historical facts yeah, I was like, you can't get mad if I tell the kids to research who Theodora was on their own. You can't get mad at kids for looking it up. And then I would get into trouble for being like, you can't say you can't say prostitute in your classroom. And I was like, but I didn't. I just told the kids that I can't stop them from researching on their own. So I did push boundaries.
Okay.
I definitely made mistakes, but I definitely studied a lot of the stuff Ron Clark was teaching at the time, who was this very dynamic teacher who runs a charter school, which I'm not a huge fan of. I think charter schools are not only a scam, but one of the most unethical things to exist.
I have no. I'm going to side with you on that because I don't know. All I know is that there's a charter school in the North Valley that's gorgeous and looks like a lot of rich people go there. That's all I know.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. But like, you know, I mean, it was just, but that class I did at the Charlton, Massachusetts Public Library. I rented out a room for 3 hours a day. I like kind of was like the kids paid me directly. The parents signed waivers that we could watch adult material, you know, not sexual adult material, but
I was gonna say dirty pictures. No, okay.
I will say the one thing that surprised me, because one of the things I would set up on movie days was we'd have DVDs with a lesson plan inside, but they didn't know the lesson until they opened the DVD.
That's great. That's great.
They would vote on the movie, and they picked Dr. Strangelove. I had like 40 movies out there, and one of the ones they picked was Dr. Strangelove. And these were teenagers in the late 2000s, and that was insane to me that they picked that.
I don't know when the knowledge of that film crept into my brain, but I could have seen that. I'm also a Peter Sellers fan, despite him being a problem. But a
historical a-hole.
Historical, probably one of the worst human beings ever to be on the planet, but also probably one of the most talented. It's crazy. All right, gentlemen, there's no fight in the war room. I can see that. But I would have paid for this course. I would have paid for this course.
Yeah, it was fun. And because I ran it, like I could do scholarships for the kids where I'm like, look, you can just come. It's fine. I know you're a genius with nothing to do over the summer. Right. Just come to the show and don't tell anybody that I let you take the class for free.
Love it.
But Ken, I know you got probably a lot of people waiting in the wings. I just wanted to talk to you and say that I adore you. I'm going to head on over to an open mic in a second.
Oh, go nail it, man. Nail it.
Yeah. Right down the street. It's walkable, so I'm going to do that and maybe get that comedy rust off because I got the boxing rust off lately. So,
dude, boxing and comedy, do it.
Shake and rust.
I love it. It was good to eat food with you on Monday, and we'll do it again soon. We get that sandwich soon.
We got to get a sandwich. And just as a reminder, everyone, I please hope that you are hitting subscribe, hitting the notifications bell, and liking on this video. Ken's going to feel uncomfortable saying it, but I don't. All the free things that you can do help us financially in ways that you could never possibly imagine. So Sports Card ASMR, go follow that. Do all that stuff.
I appreciate it.
I adore you all and have a wonderful day.
See you, Jeff Ray. Got some fun. Jeff May, everybody. Follow Jeff May. He's got some wonderful content out as well. I know we're not supposed to say content. He's got some wonderful art out in the world. Some fun shows there. Let's catch up with some chats there. First of all, super chat coming in from the Cali Kid. Cali Kid, have you seen Furiosa? The answer is no. I highly recommend it highly. It's amazing. It's a great non-Star Wars movie. I know what that means. It's big at Force Center. For that Force Center, that to us means a movie that is not Star Wars, but has the core tenets of Star Wars and is kind of preaching the same mythic lessons there. Have not seen it. I know there's been a lot of issues around box office and success and who's going to see these movies, and it's just this exhausting conversation. I think there's a lot of reasons movies aren't working at the theaters right now. A lot of it. The disruption of streaming, which is more destruction than disruption. The also reprogramming our wires on how to see these films, knowing that you can wait. It'll be, it isn't like, and I'm glad it's not like the old days where, if you missed Furiosa in the theater or you missed The Fall Guy in the theater in their first runs, it'd be a year before you'd get a VHS street date for the films. And even if you wanted to buy it, it'd be like $90 until it was rentable. And So you needed to go see the films. You don't need to anymore. COVID, the lockdown, the pandemic changed our habits. It changed a lot of people's podcast habits. Podcast industry has not been the same. There was a big boom in it, I think, during the pandemic. Big boom in live streaming. There was a point I remember during the height of the lockdown. I was trying to get like one of these, fancy lights here, and these aren't that fancy. And they were sold out. Microphones were sold out. People were like, oh, I'm home. I'm going to work from home. I'm going to broadcast from home. That's where we're at. So it changed everything. So there's not one thing. There's not one factor to blame with these pictures not working. Ventress says, I adored Furiosa, one of the best movies I've seen recently. So well done. Even Kingsport Cal. I said even Kingsport Cal likes it. It's tight AF. People need to go watch. JMB says studios are like, let's pivot to streaming. We'll put the movie on streaming less than 90 days. Now they're like, no, wait, go back to theaters, please. Yeah, and I don't even, I get it. I'm glad streaming exists for a lot of things and a lot of reasons, but I don't go see movies in the theaters. I just don't. And there's a lot of it. A lot of it's the price. And I saw a debate break out over the pricing where people are like, it's really not as expensive as people are claiming. And then one person was like, well, when someone says movies are expensive, they're not talking about the ticket. They're talking about the babysitter. They're talking about the parking. They're talking about the food. And so like, really, it's not that expensive. And it's like, yeah, Jack Wagon, that's what factors into all that. Yes, the parking. Yes, the driving. Yes, the food. And I'm not someone who's ever really complained about movie food because I worked in a movie theater. I know that's where movie theaters make most of the money because the ticket prices goes a lot of it back to the distributors and back to the studios and back to the movies. That doesn't really go into the movie theater. It's the food where they make their profit. So I get it. I've never complained about it. And I don't mind playing. If I'm at a movie theater and I'm going to pay $15 for a gourmet buffalo chicken pizza, that's my choice. But overall, it is expensive. It is expensive. And parking and babysitters and time and effort and all that stuff. And the quality. I know a lot of people complaining about how people are acting in theaters now. People filming the screens, doing TikTok dances, all that stuff. It factors in. And that's not even something I think the studios can fix or the movie stars can fix. So there you go. Going back to the old days, Laserbolt says, sad thing is we only had a one-screen theater back then. Now we have no theater whatsoever. See, Laserbolt's having a little bit of trouble seeing the movies. And that's one of the reasons I don't mind streaming. I understand, too, that it can change the format. You can, a movie you have in your streaming collection can be yanked away. That's all. I get it. Physical media, if you can, got it. But it makes it the cool documentaries I get to watch now, all those kind of things. Love it. I'm halfway through the doc on Dan Rather. There's a great doc on Dan Rather. Great doc on the 1990 Yankees I just finished. A lot of stuff out there. I'm going to watch the doc. My friend Robbie Smith just recommended a doc about supermodels. I lived the supermodel era. I want to go watch that one there. All right. Follow-up questions, then we'll get a call here soon. Kingsport Cow says, what did Peter Sellers do? I'll have to look this up. Look it up. I can't even summarize it in like one or two things. I'm a big Peter Sellers fan. Love Peter Sellers. Read a lot about him. Watch a lot of docs and stuff about him. Watched the movie with Jeffrey Rush that came out years ago. He's just the epitome of problematic asshole genius syndrome. And I think one of the great things to come out of the last few years, even up the last decade, has been less tolerance for the problematic geniuses. The ones whose talent and skill allow them to get away with horrible things. Peter Sellers' behavior... and I'm just talking about in terms of professional sense. I think he was a monster too in his personal life. I don't remember all the details, so I don't want to accidentally accuse him of something that he didn't do. You know what I mean? But professionally, how he was a monster. He was a horrendous monster, but he was one of the best to do it. And it's just the realities of it. Just the realities of it there. So there you go on that Kingsport Cow. But look it up. Ken Plume says, yeah, Sellers was an emotionally manipulative monster. Yeah. Venture says, wait, what's the Dan Rather one streaming on? I don't even remember. I got to tell you, Venturous, I don't remember. It might have been Netflix. Might have been Max. Hulu. I think Netflix. I don't know. Maybe Max. You have to search. Amazon Prime? I don't know. It's great, though. Great. Laserbolt says, I really think you'll love the Star Wars Holiday Special documentary. It's a very pleasant watch. Yeah, I've heard that. I was not going to watch it. I didn't. Some of the people involved I wasn't a fan of, and I didn't like the trailer. But then I've heard good things about the doc, so I'll give that one a chance in time. Catching up with the chat comments here. Rich T says, okay, the last 2 nights I've been watching the show The Critic from the early 90s, made by the Simpsons guy, Al Jean and Mike Rice. John Levis is the voice of Jay Sherman. Anyone remember that? Of course. I was just talking about The Critic the other day. It was at an event. I was actually talking to David Silverman of The Simpsons, one of the early and still there at The Simpsons, but one of the men, people that made The Simpsons possible. And we actually were talking about Lovitz and talking about his turn as the critic. And I think it's an underrated show from that era. It might be forgotten by some folks. I remain a Lovitz fan. He has always been perfect as well, but a big fan from his SNL days and his Groundling days. One of the first names from the Groundlings that I knew about and helped make my decision to go there. But The Critic, man, it stinks. Like, yeah, it's a fun show. Fun show. And Jared right here says, we got an update. Ken Plume says, Rather is on Netflix. There you go, Ventress. It's on Netflix. Jared says, any updates on Casterly Talk? Not yet. Not yet. I'm actually no episode of any time tomorrow. Future of that show's looking murky right now, at least with my involvement, as is the future of Casterly Talk. That's where I'll say right now. I think the brand will live on. I'll just be honest. This is what I do. I try to be honest. I am at a point where I don't think I really need or care to talk about Game of Thrones on the internet anymore. Rings of Power on the internet anymore. I love Rings of Power Season 1. I really think it's a great show. I really think it was a heartwarming, inspirational show that was well done. And I just lost my taste. The trailer for Rings of Power, the teaser trailer came out. There's some casting news on Rory Kinnear as Tom Bombadil came out, and people have thoughts and takes on it. And I don't. And I like House of the Dragon. Love Game of Thrones. I'm looking forward to House of the Dragon Season 2 starting on June 16th. I just don't think I want to talk about it anymore. So I think Alden does, and I think other people that have been on the show have. So I think you might see me in more of a executive producer role on Casterly Talk, which sounds way more important than it actually is. But I'll let you guys know, just for full disclosure, that's where I'm at. After 10 years of doing that stuff, digitally, digital media, I like talking about Star Wars. I like the other things. I've been watching Game of Thrones all day for a project I'm doing over at Fandom. Rewatched a lot of Game of Thrones this week in my free time while I was preparing for this project. I love the show, love the books, love the world with all my heart. But that's kind of where I am at. I also got another gig that's taking up a lot of time. Scott Mills says, are you writing for the Y-Files? I keep hearing you mentioning you're writing for a channel and you have to research like DARPA. Well, I'll tell you what, Scott. You're an insightful man. That's all I can say. You are in on the know. You're in on it. I might be doing some kind of work there. That's all I'll say. And I am doing some research on DARPA. I'm also doing some research on alien bases on the dark side of the moon. Been fun. But part of that research includes a lot of debunking. But yeah, that's all I can say. That's all I could say. All right. There you go. Caught up with all the questions. So, Jared, I'm sorry. I hope that wasn't a negative update for you. But that's just the truth of where we're at. But I don't think the channel is going to go away at all. Meeting with Alden tomorrow on that. But I think my days of talking about dragons and Targaryens, at least on a regular basis, has wrapped up. There you go. All right, on the show now, he is a Fortnite player. He is an author. He's an interviewer. He is a connoisseur of snack foods. He's going to ask me if I've had a McFlurry yet, and I have not. On the show now is our buddy Ken Plume. Mr. Plume, welcome back to the Blathering.
I feel my days of talking about things on the interwebs may be over.
It's a faint memory now. I can remember it like it was yesterday.
Sitting in my virtual rocking chair on this here porch.
Yes, sir. Talking about them dragons.
Listen to the doodlebugs.
How are you, sir? What's your question? What's your thought? And have you had a McFlurry today?
I can't believe that you used the word content. I'm so disappointed in you.
It happens. It happens. It's just so programmed into us now. I don't know what to do.
You know, I did not get the Grandma McFlurry, which we have talked about, the Butterscotch McFlurry, because I decided, you know what? It was good when I had it.
Okay.
But it's $5 for what is now a very tiny cup. You can get more for less money for a Blizzard at Dairy Queen.
Okay.
So I decided not to. I decided, you know what? I'm done. I had my butterscotch milkshake. I've experienced that. Financially, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it
to go back.
Right. I'm going to bring up some photos. If your audio goes out, don't leave. I'm just going to switch back. I'm going to see if I think it's. Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you.
Okay, cool. I sometimes don't know with StreamYard. All right, so I have up on the screen the pictures of the Grandma McFlurry. I mean, there's a chance I get one tonight. Lauren Romo in chat says something. This is what I would expect as someone with who's a fan of Detroit-style pizza. This is Butterscotch McFlurry, hard pass for me. Butterscotch milkshakes at Mel's Diner on Sunset is one of my favorite treats of all time. All time. So, Romo, much like your pizza, you're wrong about this. But I've got the photos up. But Ken, you're saying the taste didn't match your expectations?
No, the taste was fine. It was good. I enjoyed the taste. I mean, I like butterscotch. Romo's violence and a Fortnite vehicle partner, Hal Lublin, is not a fan of butterscotch either. So clearly the two of them are bonding on a lot of levels.
Now, I don't know if you can see the screen, Ken. You probably got your sound turned down like a responsible radio guest. But I love that I did the McDonald's Grandma McFlurry on the search bar, and there's a picture of a grandma eating the McFlurry. You know, they're doing the marketing right, at least.
Well, you know what? We don't actually. She could be judging it. Her mouth is downturned in that. Do you see? She looks disgusted by that.
Oh God! I'm breaking news. Brian Tiller says I'm with Robo. What butterscotch is one of the best flavors known to this Earth and other parts of the galaxy. You know, whether or not the McFlurry meets that expectation, to be determined. I trust my friend Ken Plume on Taste Treats, but only one way to find out.
I mean, we can't all have our pizza served in a garbage can lid.
I have got a joke about Detroit pizza in my comedy hour or 40 minutes, my headlining set. I wish Lauren could fly out from Michigan to see my set because I've got a Detroit pizza joke. I'm ready to unveil.
You will sense a disturbance in whatever Detroit force there is. I don't know how strong that force is, considering it also gave us Detroit-style pizza.
That's true. Laserbolt says, I'll just stick to scotch. Romo's welcome to call in and debate this. Offer still stands. This is the Blathering Live, folks. We're on the phone with Ken Plume. We just put out some wonderful exclusive interviews available on his Patreon page. I think you all should check it out. That great interview. And I get confused. Remind me, some of them I know are old printed interviews. Some of them are audio. But you got a good Frank Oz interview out there, right?
I have a Frank Oz interview that's about 40 pages worth of material. It was a nice multi-hour conversation we had many years ago. Jerry Nelson, another Muppet performer,
right.
The Count Von Count, Gobo Fraggle, Floyd Pepper, Robin the Frog. Put him up yesterday, and then I just put up Dave Goles, Gonzo, Bunsen Honeydew.
Love it.
Boober Fraggle, and more.
Love it.
Those are all going up.
Those are all up now. Check it out at Ken Plume's Patreon page. All right, so you might have a question or thought tonight, but I'm not done with this McFlurry thing. What do you feel you can go too far with these McFlurries? Do you think the M&M, the Oreo, is that the boundary that you can push but don't go cross? What do you think about McFlurries?
I'm not a fan of hard bits. I'm not a fan of hard bits in a cold thing. Just particularly as we age. It seems like you're taking unnecessary risks with your team.
The crunchy. Okay.
Do you want to go there?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, no, I don't. I like the M&M McFlurry,
but it doesn't impart that much flavor. Ultimately,
I think you're right,
but it's not like it's. Oh my god, this is revelatory. This flavor that it's introducing to this.
I do think, yeah,
an Oreo, yes, an Oreo introduces a distinct flavor profile.
You're absolutely right. That Vermont Mike says butterscotch pudding with ready whip is the greatest treat ever. Yeah. Vermont Mike and I 100% agreement on that issue right there. Love that. Now, some people are bringing up blizzards. I am a fan of blizzards. I don't have them as much as McFlurries. I don't have McFlurries a lot either. But I think given a choice, if I'm like, I have both in front of me, I think I might go blizzard over McFlurry because I do agree with you, Ken, that an Oreo McFlurry, great. A Reese's Pieces McFlurry, great. But an M&M McFlurry, it is almost two things in one. It is M&M's and ice cream, not together.
Am I correct in remembering? Because I don't get them because it's not worth the flavor profile. On a McFlurry side, don't they grind the M&Ms, or are they whole M&Ms in them? I think a McFlurry grinds them.
Someone find that out for us and respond to us in chat. Well, see, I'm looking at this picture here, and it looks like whole M&Ms in there, and the Oreos are ground. But that's a love it to bits. Well, I don't know. Okay, it's a good question.
Oh, I was not the McFlurry. I meant the Blizzard. The Blizzard grinds them, right?
I think you're right about that. Which is
the smarter move.
Yes, because then it kind of gets in there a little bit. Look at this. We got a smorgasbord of blizzards. I mean, the blizzard is a big party. The blizzard is a New Year's Eve gathering where the McFlurry is like a good, summer picnic.
I mean, honestly, my favorite milkshake is a limited time milkshake over the past few years, and it's the strawberry strawberry. What's the Frosty from Wendy's.
The Frosty,
which is coming back. It's a summer thing. That is the best flavor that I've experienced in a milkshake in the past couple of years.
It's 2 minutes past 6 p.m. in the PM here on the West Coast, and we have got a very important segment beginning here right now. On the phone right now to defend just herself over a lot of things with us, Ken, is Lord Romo of the Galactic podcast and the Geek broadcast and many other things, and known Fortnite killer Lauren Romo. What do we got on this? What do we got tonight?
I hear they nerfed her. I hear the game has nerfed her because she was dominating.
We're gonna stick a pin in Fortnite. I want to get to this McFlurry butterscotch controversy, which it is a debacle because it's not that has to be the most disgusting flavor out. It has to be. It has to be.
So what is your experience with butterscotch?
Okay,
is it Werther's Originals, or what is your?
What did butterscotch do to you?
No, it is a very grandma thing. I remember my grandma, rest her soul, she used to have those all the time, and I think she would just give them to us just to make us be quiet. But they just never tasted good to me. I did not like the flavor at all. So I say no to you.
So because you saw butterscotch as a please be quiet, don't bother me punishment. and maybe slight child endangerment, depending on the age you were given these.
Fair enough.
Wow.
Take the pacifier out, put Werther's in.
Yeah, right. It wasn't that young. But yeah, no, I never liked the flavor. So no, hard pass.
So you've never gone back to it though. So you've never given it a shot as an adult.
Why should I? If I don't like it, I don't like it. We're not going to go back to it if I don't like it.
I agree with that.
There are things that I hated as a child,
right?
That I now like. Cauliflower, broccoli,
mayonnaise,
absolutely loathe. Spinach.
I mean, fair enough. There are things I'll give you that, but yeah, that's a hard pass for me. I will say Blizzard or over McFlurry though.
Okay.
McFlurries are okay, but yeah, Blizzard, Oreo Blizzard all day, every day for me. I love that. That's probably that would be my go-to. Oreo McFlurry.
Just the Oreo. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not here to try to hit you over the head with the butterscotch log until you change your mind. I want to know how it hurt you, and we found out. And your reaction to the Grandma McFlurry was so strong. I needed to know a little bit more about this, and I think we got it.
Now, Romo, have you gone to Universal Studios in your trips to Florida or California? Have you gone to the Harry Potter land and tried the butterbeer?
Romo?
Oh, she made her point and she's out. She's like, I
don't know what happened. Yeah,
I don't know what happened. She cut herself out. She was like, I'm out of here. She dropped the microphone. So have you tried butterbeer?
No, I have not been, but fair though, I have not been to that theme park. Yeah,
because that is also a butterscotch profile,
right? And that still, I would be very cautious on that because I am no.
I gotta tell you, I've been to undisclosed Wizarding World land
fair
once.
We'll call it the Star Wars Hotel.
We'll call it the Star Wars Hotel. I've been there once, and it was a particularly hot day at Universal Studios, and the butterbeer dried me up so fast. I was sick and nauseated, which might have contributed to me getting sick on the 3D ride.
Well, that's because you probably went straight butterbeer and not the frozen butterbeer, which is the mistake. The straight butterbeer is not good. The frozen butterbeer, which is like a slushy, is the way to go. As a butterscotch fan, I think you would enjoy the frozen, and you couldn't get alcohol in it too.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I've definitely heard that. I just haven't been back to try it, but yes, no, I definitely had the pure liquid. Yes,
no
ice.
Liquid
no ice
can be nauseating on a hot day.
Yeah, it was a little.
That's not the thing to do.
It's not the thing to do. If you're just joining me, we're debating butterscotch, and on the screen right now is a closer look at the
105 degrees. I'd like a nice tall drink of butterscotch.
Yeah, well, and it's not beer. It's a sugar drink. Yeah, it was a bad experience. So, if I ever get back, I'll try the iced one and see where we can go.
The problem with a Blizzard and a McFlurry divide, which is now what complicates which to choose, is the McFlurry has significantly less calories.
Yes, it does.
But I'm true, maybe. But I'm never. This is I hadn't thought about this to the moment you mentioned this, Ken. In my life, I have had more Blizzards solo where I've never really had just a McFlurry. It's always come with a double cheeseburger order or a large fry or the whole thing.
So you get that as your drink with it.
Yeah. So it's and I'll get a drink. So I think even though the McFlurry might be less, I'm making it more. But I've never really thought about that to this moment.
So you've made a Blizzard a meal.
Because, there used to be a Dairy Queen Orange Julius at the mall I worked at, so I didn't need to go get food. I could just swing in and get a Blizzard and call it a
hot dog in it, a hot dog Blizzard.
Yeah. So, there we go. Mm.
Well, and McFlurries also used to be very cheap, so it was an easy add-on to go, hey, I'll add on the McFlurry to that order.
Oh, yeah, it used to be a buck and change. Now it is a price on it in and of itself. So
$5
absolutely.
for essentially a sampler.
A lot of people, a lot of people checking in with other options there. I was going to bring some of them up. We had glazed cherry. We had that as an option. Do we like that? We had Vermont Mike saying butterscotch oatmeal cookies. I love that. I love oatmeal cookies. I love butterscotch.
See, I won't go on the oatmeal journey with you because that's work.
See, I love oatmeal cookies. Oatmeal raisin cookies with the glaze. Oh, that's
oatmeal.
That's a treat.
Oatmeal cookies are good, but butterscotch again.
The mealy oatmeal cookies always seem like a pun. Like it seemed like I was being given the healthy option of the cookie.
Might be. All right. Laserbolt says a dilly bar. Okay, that's what a dilly bar is. I've never been aware of that term.
Bar?
Yeah, never been aware of that term. But
that's essentially their Klondike bar on a stick.
Yeah, I like Klondike. So I'm, and you know what? Laserbolt asks chocolate or cherry. I'm always going to go cherry. Always go cherry. We got a lot of choices. Yeah.
Now, is cherry your choice for fruit? Period. What is your ultimate choice if you had fruit flavor?
It's cherry. Yeah, cherry or blueberry. I like a peach or a mango, but not in my dessert. So if it's like a blueberry pie or a cherry pie.
What about a banana?
I do a banana, like a banana cream or a bananas
Banana
Foster.
pudding?
Yeah, banana pudding. A big fan of that too. Which might be when you think about it, it's odd. It's odd, but I like it. I like it. And yeah. I'm a big banana flavor fan. I like bananas too. Let the record reflect. I like the bananas too.
Let
But
the
that
record
flavor
reflect.
is not the same by a long shot. Banana flavor and bananas are not the same taste.
It's true. Brian Taylor says, I'd rather have cherry lemonade from hot dog on a stick.
Ooh, cherry lemonade. All right.
I can't remember.
I'll
I
take a
can't
strawberry
remember.
lemonade over a cherry lemonade.
I haven't been to hot dog on a stick.
Of course you would, Bloom. Of course you would.
Yeah, I haven't been to hot dog on a stick in nigh on 40 years. So I'll have to try that out. I'll have to go research that.
When was the last time you were at a DQ?
10 years ago, maybe.
Oh, that's too long.
Yeah. Because I left the mall in 2015, and the mall I was at did not have a hot dog on a stick. So it's literally been 40 years since I had
For a top off.
For a top off. Am I due to go get a hot dog on a stick?
I think you're going to go get a hot dog on a stick, and you're going to run over and get a Blizzard.
I might do it.
Do they sell hot dogs on a stick at 7-Eleven? Is that a thing?
No, just hot dogs. Just hot dogs.
Is that hot dog on a stick still in Burbank?
I don't think so. If it's in the I don't go to the Burbank Mall.
It was in the Burbank Mall.
Yeah, I don't go in the Burbank Mall. That's a albatross of of humanity. It's I haven't been in there.
I went there and I made a disastrous order once that even I feel bad that I made.
Even you. There you go.
Even I felt bad.
What was it?
Well, I had to get the cheese on a stick too.
I don't mind that.
But then I got two of each.
Yeah, that's multiple might be your problem.
I was making a lot of
multiple might be
choices.
the issue.
Yeah,
that is some choices.
And then that large lemonade, they serve it with their hand, right? Or they mix it with their hand? Am I remembering this incorrectly?
They stir it with their thumbs. I'm good with it. They're good with it.
Either way, it's fine. It's fine.
Hands are ladles.
Exactly. So I tell Grace all the time, if it's on the floor, that just means it's flavoring. We're good to go. Pick it up, eat it. Let's do it.
Yeah. Other things have dropped on that floor. There's so many seasonings down there.
Andrew Hanks says Albatross of Humanity is my new band name. There you go. Love that.
Well, we need to get you to a Sonic soon. Speaking of drink.
I've already this no joke had a conversation with my friend in Arkansas tonight, and I've already made reservations at a Sonic in Little Rock.
Nice.
Yep.
Now, reservations at a Sonic in Little Rock. Did someone put out like a traffic cone in one of the drive-ups?
It's waiting for me and Mark Ellis and our rental car to get there.
This is reserved.
Low blows.
All right, I'm not sticking around long tonight. I got some work to do, so I want to take some other calls. But you both been great. I don't know if I'll see you on Fortnite tonight, but we're gonna do it. And then Romo, you teach us how to be a bloodthirsty killer.
I'll do my best. We'll have to squat up again. We'll have some fun for sure.
All right. See you, Lauren Romo. Mr. Plume, thank you for the call. Thank you for your food expertise.
Happy to be here. Happy to support you. Everyone supports you.
Thank you, my friend. All right, moving on the show tonight. You guys are great. We got a super chat coming in again from Jared. Says keep Casterly Talk alive. Need by Ken Alden, Nikki Kumar, Romo, Rachel, Ace. You're all the best. I really appreciate it. And I think those names will be doing some shows. And I like I said, I want to reserve the right to maybe pop on if we're going to do it. But I'm also discussing things publicly that I have not nailed down with Alden, so that's not fair to Alden or the brand. But, Jared, I want to acknowledge your passion for the show, and I appreciate it there. A couple calls here before we end. Got about another 15 minutes in the show. So if you got a super chat, you got a question, you want to talk about, you want to ask me a question about taste treats. We always end up with food talk here because I always do the show before dinner. So there you go. Coming on the phone here right now is our buddy Jake. Check it in here. Jake Yakovita, or as he's called, Yakovizzle. Jake, what's on your mind tonight?
Honestly, I had a question, but you all went off the fucking rails, and I
just
now
say rails. Just say rails. Why? What is with you and the F word?
I
want to know.
Sorry. Okay.
What are you doing? I love you, Jake. What's your question?
Okay. So I bought your book, and you didn't sign it.
I apologize. I apologize that you had to buy that. I didn't sign it. What do you mean? What do you mean I didn't sign it? Like where'd you buy one?
I bought it off your website or whatever the freak you posted it. You didn't sign it.
But I haven't sent one out that hasn't been signed, so I'll have to check the order. Did you order it from like Mango or Amazon?
No, I ordered it off your whatever you did on Twitter.
Yeah. Look, I'll check my orders. If that's the case, I got you covered. I'll send you out a book plate, no charge. That is an oversight, but that would be the first time in the history of my world that I would have done that. Which I'm not putting it past myself, Jake. I'm not doubting you. I just I'm gonna double check my make sure I'm thinking of the right thing, and I'll get you something. Don't you worry.
All right, we'll talk. We'll talk.
That sounds like a threat. That sounds like you're gonna send Joe Pesci to my door, and
No, I'm gonna send Kingsport Gal to your door.
Oh, don't send Kingsport Cal out here. I can't. I don't trust Kingsport Cal. I don't know. He'll never leave.
Nah, it's all good, man. It's all good.
What's your question, my friend? You said you had a question. I'm excited about this question.
Okay, so if it wasn't Star Wars, what would be your like the thing that you would like go die hard for?
Does it sit into movies? Because I mean, Game of Thrones is there, but that's been discussed enough. So you're talking about in the movie world?
Yeah, movie world.
I think if Star Wars didn't exist, I think, I guess I could say Lord of the Rings, but those don't come till later. I'm trying to think of something that's of that era. Indiana Jones is my favorite cinematic character, so that absolutely would have been somewhere to go with me. So I could say that as an answer. But but I definitely would say Lord of the Rings because I love it, but I don't know it like I do Star Wars in terms of trivia, in terms of knowledge, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's a place where I'd want to spend more time.
Okay. Well, yeah, that was my question.
Jake, that was a great question, and I appreciate that question. And yeah, you're right, me. And I'll send something out to you here, and want to make sure you get taken care of. All right.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate you, brother, man.
Thank you, Jake. I appreciate you, and I love you, brother. All right. Jake Gagavett on the way out. We got a couple more calls lined up, so let me just get to him here on the phone now. Is Jeffrey? I think that's Jeffrey. I don't take cameras, but it's so dark. I'm like, I think that's who it is. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing good. I turned the lights down for the mood.
Jeff, I love seeing you in the dark. This is home for me. This is home. What's on your mind tonight, my friend?
Well. First, I wanted to offer my condolences for Bax and just remind you that a lot of people love you guys. And,
I appreciate that.
Grief is important, but you don't have to carry it alone. And then and I'm glad that you took a little time away, but I'm also very glad you're back.
Thank you. Good to be here. It was it was funny. It was a busy day, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't do the show tonight. But you all, your energy makes this so worth it for me. So I appreciate it. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you. We all appreciate you, brother. I do have a question for you. And maybe this will be kind of a callback to the beginning of the show. I don't know. I have been talking about doing something for a few years now. Okay. And I think I'm finally getting pretty close to being ready to maybe at least think about pulling the trigger on it.
Okay.
I've been working up some jokes. I've been working up a tight set.
Okay,
And
I thought this was going to be your vasectomy announcement, but okay.
no, I did that a long time ago. But no, I've been thinking about putting together a set, and
I love this. I love this.
What kind of advice would you offer? Like just some quick bullet points.
I think the important thing is I'm trying to think of the advice that I wish I would have given myself. Though I got a lot of great advice. My friend Peter Sprite, my friend Brian Keith Etheridge were my mentors at the beginning of my stand-up days, and they gave me all the advice I needed. But I just don't think you believe it, and you don't feel it until you're on stage. So number one, I would say, Jeff, do it, because there's nothing to lose from it. Do it. And then also, no matter what your time is, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7, 8, whatever an open mic might be, or whatever your first show is, you just have to connect with the audience, and the jokes come second. And that doesn't mean you don't have a set list. Doesn't mean you don't have every word written out. But before you even say them, you just got to make sure you try to connect with that audience. And sometimes they don't want to connect, and sometimes you can't connect, and sometimes it doesn't work too well. That's okay. I think it's taken me 20 years to be okay with myself up on stage, that other people picked up that trait sooner. Mark Ellis picked that up way sooner. But I'm now more comfortable in the last 4 months on stage than I have been in the last 20 years. So that's where I'll start. But also, don't hesitate to take a class. I don't know if every class is going to teach you what you need to know, if it's the best class and everything, but if it's a class through like a comedy club or something like that, it can't hurt. And you get a show out of it, and you get some the little rules down, take the mic off and move the stand out of the way, put the stand back, put the mic on, wait for the host, shake the host hand. Those little things, you learn a lot of that stuff too.
Okay. I actually hadn't even thought about that, looking for like a class or something.
I think we have a tendency, and maybe this is comedians' problems too, but we have a tendency to look down on, you took a stand-up class, you learned to be funny. That's not what it's about. It's about finding what's inside of you and just giving you a base to build from it. I didn't take a stand-up class, but I took improv classes. I did groundlings training for 4 years. That was a great thing. It changed me, but I don't look down on stand-up classes. I think they're a good thing.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I'm pretty sure that they do offer some of that down here. I know that because I have been looking at like places that do open mic nights.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there are at least a couple of the clubs that I've looked up in San Antonio that do offer like improv classes. So that's great advice, man.
Do it. And anything you need, you know where to find me. I'll help you through it.
Yes, sir.
All right. And hey, you know what? You travel a lot. Come on out to California, June 30th, and come out and see a big show. That's right, everybody. The announcement I made earlier tonight. I got my first headlining gig at Flappers, Kidnaps Hot Burbank Nights, Sunday, June 30th, 7 p.m. Yoo-Hoo Room. Look at this lineup of great comics. Come on out and join me for the show. Jeff, I know it's hard for you. You work and you have a life, but, whatever.
Sometimes I get out occasionally.
I know you do. Yeah, I know you do. All right, Jeff, thank you for the call. I got a couple lined up here so I can get on out of here. I appreciate it, brother.
Appreciate you, man.
All right. We got some great calls in, great questions in chat. We got some calls left. We got a top 5 coming in from our buddy Steve. Steve, how you doing? What's on your mind? Let's hear it.
Ken, thank you again for having me. Appreciate it.
Oh, you sound so sweet tonight. I love that. That mic's queued up perfectly tonight.
Excellent. So no question, but I know you're trying to get out of here quick. So I just have a quick top 5 for you that I think fits with the theme of the day.
Okay.
These are the top 5 athletes with the number 34. And if you don't know why that's the theme of the day, go watch the news.
I like this. This is great. Hit me.
Number 5, Charles Barkley.
Gotta love Barkley. Round mound.
Number 4, Bo Jackson.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Josh McCouga, if he was here, and he's going to be here this weekend, he would yell number 1. But I like that.
Number 3, Hakeem Olajuwon.
The dream.
Number 2, Nolan Ryan.
Ooh, good pull.
Number 1, Shaq Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille O'Neal. Love that. Rich T says Ricky Williams of my Dolphins. I agree. Maybe top 10. That's a great list. 34 is a good baseball number. Nolan Ryan, that makes a lot of sense. And Bo Jackson.
Ken, thank you so much for having me. That's all I had tonight. But
Steve, good call.
Glad to see you back.
That's how you do it. That's how you do a good radio call. You get in, you say your thing, and you take your answer off air. Love that. We got a call coming in here. We got two lined up. I got Brady. I got Jared. I want to take Jared here right now because Jared's making his debut on the calls here. Jared, how are you, my friend?
Not too bad, Ken. How you doing?
Doing great. Doing great. I really appreciate you, buddy. What's on your mind?
Not too much. Just, again, want to be quick like your last caller. Send my condolences for you and Grace as a dog father. I very much understand what's going on.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And also, just to reiterate my super chats earlier, I do love the Casterly Talk group in that the way you guys don't just do your top tens, your gradings, all that jazz. You actually like dive into the good meat of the episode. And if you don't like something, it's okay. And I've always loved that aspect about your Casterly Talk and your Four Center friends with Joe and everybody. It's just the way you guys let the community be in a very friendly and inviting way is the reason why I keep bugging you guys to keep Casterly Talk alive and keep the Blathering going, because the internet is full of such crap that it's nice to have people like you and like Star Wars Explained for another good channel of just good, happy people on the internet.
You know, I'll take it. I'll take the happy. I don't know if I'm a good person, but I'll take it. No, Jared, I really do appreciate what you're saying. And like I'm being honest as I can, and I haven't spoken at great length with Olden about it, who helps me, we run these things together now at this point. I think Casterly Talk is not going away. I think that I could get the itch. I just think there's a lot of things have changed in my life too in the last couple of months. So it's like I need to concentrate in some areas. But what you're saying means a lot to me because that's always been the goal. That's always been the goal with Force Center of in a storm of negativity. It's not just about being positive. It's just about discussing what is there in the art and how it affects us, because that's why we're here. And I see so many people online, and I've worked with so many people online where I'm like, I wish you remembered why you got here, why you were a fan of this stuff. To Brennan's question at the top of the show about what was the movie that made you fall in love with movies, or the movies. It's so important. And for me, it was Star Wars. And doesn't mean everything in Star Wars is perfect for me, but I'm always there to connect back to that love. So I appreciate it, and I feel you, and I hear you, Jared. So remain hopeful. You have reason to be hopeful. We're not
always. And just last thing before I take out, I will never give up the Ken and Ken watch DS9.
I love it. Look, don't give up hope. Never give hope. Keep hope alive.
You have a good one, Ken. Be safe.
Jared, thanks for calling in, making his call debut here. We got Brady coming in here in a second. We got a super chat I want to get to from our good friend Kingsport Cal. Oh, Kingsport Cal must have worked some extra shifts this month. He says, take this in case I get drunk and call you a bitch later. I got to do something about my audio. Kingsport Cal, you do have to fix your audio, and you can call me a bitch anytime you want. Switching gears, more of a serious question. Corey Hendrickson says, hey, Ken, do you think the felon status will have a great effect on the general election in November? Corey, I don't know, because I don't think so. Because I know enough that we all know enough that there's probably folks who are seeing this result again, pending appeals and this and that. I don't think he's going to. I haven't read the articles. I don't know if he'll do jail time. All those kind of things. We can put that on the shelf. So many people are convinced this is all a work and this has been done wrong, and that this is political opponents working against him, and so he might be elevated in status for a lot of those folks. And I think it's still a battle. And to me, the reason I haven't been fully engaged with this court case over the last month, I was on the first, when it started, I was looking at news updates every day. I just kind of was like, I think to me, the only way we get to defeat him is at the ballot box. And even then, he doesn't believe it. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But I love that question. Yeah, Vermont Mike says it's going to fuel his fan base. And I've already had conversations in real life with people who are just so convinced that this has all been, pardon the pun, trumped up charges against him. So there you go. Appreciate that. And we got this call to start to take us home. And that is 8984M. We call him Brady and Kyrie. Hey, how are you, Brady?
Hi, Ken. I'm good. Today had some good news,
Mm-hmm.
So
good news?
Just the start of things, of course.
We hope, yeah.
What I wanted to talk about was
Yeah.
Something that's closing, you know. May is ending. It's the end of Star
Yes.
Wars month.
Yes.
And well, it was recently my birthday, and I got to watch the sequels back to back to back.
I love this.
I just want to say, you know, it's just a great time, man.
Great time to celebrate Star Wars.
Yes.
I love it. 8984M. I love that that's how you chose to celebrate. You know, did you watch them all in one night? Was it a full day thing over a course of a week? How did you take them?
Oh, it was great. There was actually a local theater that was doing a marathon.
Did the marathon. Love it.
And it was a better. I think they did it well because they spaced it out. It was like each day of the weekend had its own trilogy, and so
that's great.
Yeah, so you don't just go in and you come out like a zombie.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, it was like a triple feature basically. And
yeah.
I don't know how people do the marathon because I was still tired after 3.
I've never done it. My friend Mike Black did one, and I think it was either the Marvel one or one of the Star Wars ones. I think it was at El Capitan. And he was like telling Scrimshaw and I after we had him on Force Center, he was like, man, like the place smelled. The place. He's like, you felt, and he did like the 24-hour one. He's like, it was a disaster. It was not fun. So yeah, I agree with you. I couldn't do that. I got a couch at home. I'll watch them. Not the same experience. I get it. It's so much fun watching the Phantom Menace in the screen at the theater at El Cap. But yeah, I'll go that route. I'll go that route.
Sound of the screen.
You know. How else did you celebrate your birthday? That's was it a milestone birthday?
Well, 25, I guess, you know.
There we go. Quarter life crisis setting in.
Crisis.
You go.
I don't know. Well, I lived to 100. I don't know about that.
Wow, that's wow. Okay. Yeah, that's dark. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. You're like, I don't know. This could be my midlife crisis. I don't know. This could be my 75% crisis.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe I'll get in a Boeing 737. Who knows?
Yeah. Love that. Love that. Love that. Love that. There you go. Love it. 8984M, Brady. Thanks for calling in. And thanks for calling in the other day on the Force Center show, too.
Oh, yeah. And thanks for having me. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, just one more thing.
Hit me.
Joke, but it was great to see Mark Ellis in his full Scottish accent on the big screen again.
Oh, yeah. Balatik. Absolutely. I love that. Timeless. Timeless. Thank you, Brady.
All right.
We are getting ready to get on out of here. Alan Smithy says we need more pod racing in Star Wars. I don't even know what that's referring, but you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. I want a pod race game. I want more pod racing. Corey follows up to his own questions. In a right and just world, we should be convicted for the wrongs and pain he causes. Today was a little glimmer of light. Yeah, and I think we should take that glimmer of light there. All right, that is it. I got to go do some work. It's been a lot of fun. For those who missed the announcement, if you're local, big show, Sunday, June 30th, 7 p.m., in the Yoo-Hoo Room, which is a great, wonderful little comedy space at Flappers Comedy Club in Burbank. It's Ken Knapsack's Hot Burbank Night. Scheduled to appear is Mr. Mark Ellis, Joe Starr, the wonderful Jen Sturger, and it's going to be a good time. Come on out. Information is on my website. That is it. We'll see you next time. We did the blathering thing. Bye.